Well, the last time I tried to book a doctor's appointment, I was on hold for 30 minutes. And when I finally got through, I was offered an inconvenient time, but I took it. They said I could always call back if something better was available, but that didn't. I didn't have that kind of time. I want to take a moment to thank my surgeon, Dr. Nora Fullington, for giving me the very best experience in my recent hernia surgery. I know that's a funny thing to talk about, but I am truly grateful for her. And this month is really all about gratitude. And along with Dr. Fullington, there's someone else we don't get to thank enough. That's ourselves. It's sometimes hard to remind ourselves that we're trying our best to make sense of everything. And in this crazy world, that really isn't easy. So here's a reminder to send some thanks to the people in your life, including yourself and your surgeon. BetterHelp offers entirely online therapy that's designed to be convenient, flexible, and tailored to fit your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. It's helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the very best version of yourself. So whether you're dealing with stress, anxiety, or simply seeking personal growth, BetterHelp connects you with licensed therapists who can support you on your mental health journey. Let the gratitude flow with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/CareTalk to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/CareTalk. Well, welcome to HealthBiz Briefs. I'm David Williams, president of Health Business Group, here with Jeff Gartland, CEO of Relatient, a patient engagement platform with self-scheduling. Welcome, Jeff.
Thank you, David. I appreciate being here.
Jeff, why is self-scheduling such a novel concept in medicine? There's tools for self-scheduling and all sorts of other things like open table for dinner.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is still novel. It's interesting. I think I mentioned this on a previous conversation at one point that it's amazing to me that 84% of physicians still don't allow for self-scheduling online. And so we all as consumers, you know it, you mentioned it at the top here, we want it. We need it. We expect that level of consumerism. The reason it's novel right now is most provider groups are traditionally focused in on high precision of their calendar, and they don't want to have mistakes happen. They don't want to have an existing patient show up in a new patient slot. They don't want to have a Medicaid patient show up when they're trying to maximize a Medicare Advantage or a commercial appointment time slot. They don't want to have somebody that really ultimately has a back issue, but shows up to somebody that's a shoulder surgeon because they didn't understand the difference between those. And so all of those types of things make that self-scheduling a little bit more complicated than open table. A little bit more complicated than booking a hotel room or an airline flight, but ultimately is something that we've got to solve for to create this balance because consumers are demanding it, and providers that are smart are figuring out ways to open up much more to patient access.
Oh, so what's the value proposition to a practice for using a self-scheduling tool? Why would they want to introduce something new if they've got something that they're already comfortable with?
More appointments. It's more appointments, more appointments. There is demand out there. Patients want to get in and get access to care. So it is out there. It's these preferences and these rules, no matter how well intended, that create obstacles to that convenience and obstacles to the ability for patients to get access to care on a timely fashion. And so at the end of the day, for providers, it's around maximizing your calendar, getting the utilization up, and getting more appointments, which results in revenue. But oftentimes, that some of those challenges exist where the preferences of a given provider are overweighting that ability to open up to patients.
What is the experience like for a patient? What are the main friction points that the patient experiences now, and how do you overcome some of those?
Yeah, well, I mean, patients experience a lot of friction. So one of the easiest ones that we see is when you're trying to book an appointment, they're going to ask you 15 different things about your insurance card. And you know what? I don't have my insurance card on me right now. I know I'm with Aetna, but I don't have the group number and the member number and then this and the that and the other. And so, that's an easy one. That usually pops up almost every time, David, is, things around insurance. But it's deeper than that. When you really talk to consumers and patients, how they view convenience at the end of the day really is dictated by what's going on in the rest of their life. So for some folks, it's really time of day, day of week, because they've got work or kids and family and other kinds of obligations going on. For others, it's really around a specific provider or type of provider or rating of a provider that becomes the dominant aspect of convenience, because I'll go anywhere if I've got this type of a diagnosis, but I need to get to the highest rated person for that type of acute problem. And so it does vary by the consumer. And that is really ultimately one of the interesting challenges in scheduling is how do you balance the provider's needs with that consumer demand?
Well, that's it for the latest HealthBiz Brief. If you like what you hear, check out my HealthBiz podcast for a full-length interview with Jeff about his life and career. Jeff Gartland, CEO of Relatient, thanks for joining me today on HealthBiz Briefs.